Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. Well, when it comes to managing a company, workforce, stakeholders, or a team, it all begins with managing oneself first, right? As leaders, it's vital to be critical thinkers with the ability to think rationally and make unbiased decisions. Our decisions, but however, are often shaped by factors such as societal conditioning, upbringing, or our family values. But these are beliefs, not realities. As leaders, we must learn to detach from these beliefs to make the right, often difficult, professional decisions. Today, let's explore how to identify and challenge our core beliefs that may hinder our growth and our progress in our professional as well as personal lives. Let's begin the journey of unlearning for better progress. Let's get started. And today's video is all about identifying and changing our core beliefs. Let's get started. Let's start with first understanding about core beliefs. What are core beliefs? Where core beliefs are the underlying assumptions that we have about ourselves, others, and the world in general. And that is what we call them as core beliefs. They are said core because they are so deeply ingrained, they may feel like a part of us, like our own name. Well, core beliefs emerge in childhood when we learn to interpret the world around us based on our connections with caregivers and our personal experiences. While these mental shortcuts can be beneficial in any circumstances, they can become ingrained patterns of our thought, feeling, and behavior that are oftentimes very ultimately self-sabotaging for us. Well, when you identify this core belief that is not working for you, you see how it manifests itself everywhere in negative self-talk, in choices that keep you playing small and avoiding risk or exposure. Identifying your core beliefs and assumption is critical because it allows you to establish the connection between your core beliefs and how you are feeling in each passing moment. This insight allows you to take a step back and consider the problem from a different perspective. You get to ask yourself, is this how I want to approach this moment? Do I want to keep playing out this tired old loop? Or do I want to choose something different? A core belief is like an internalized rule that guides the creation of your personal narrative. We behave in ways to conform these rules. That is, if we encounter something that affirms it, we cling to that and focus on it. Whereas, if we encounter something that disapproves our belief, we dismiss it. We also need to learn that core beliefs are not facts. They are just thoughts and ideas that we have repeated so often that we believe them to be true. Core beliefs can often create negative automatic thought patterns. Therefore, when we challenge these cognitive distortions, we gently loosen the core belief and give a healthier alternative the chance to take the root instead. Now let's understand this with an example. When we face rejections or fears in life, we often are caught with a thought that I am not worthy as other people. We get that thought, right? Let's understand how this inspires more negative thought patterns. Now let's say, this is a hypothetical example. Let's say you have this early experience in your childhood that you're the youngest child in the family. As a child, your father or maybe any of your relative, any family member, or maybe a tuition teacher or a school teacher compares you unfavorably to your other elder siblings, cousins, or children of the same age group, and you are routinely interrupted or dismissed since you are the youngest child. Now, the core belief that arises and you develop is explain this painful feeling and that helps you survive it. And you think that for people to treat me this way, I must be inferior somehow. I must be lacking some skill. I must be worthless than others. Now, the critical incident that happens in life, later in life, is maybe the loss of a job. You lose a job, or you face back-to-back rejections while you are applying a job. Now, the automatic cognitive distortion that we get is that I lost my job because I am the worst employee and they all hate me and think I'm stupid. I won't get another job because I'm worthless. I don't have any skill and I'm not that smart. It does happen in life in realistic way, right? Be it in our professional life or at times in our personal life with our relationship as well. Now, the consequences of these thoughts that we have developed as part of our core beliefs or the earlier experiences in childhood that we had is that the consequence of it is the low self-esteem, depression, guilt, shame, and the inability to seek out new work because of the assumption that you will only be rejected anyway. And that is what the core belief that you have developed for yourself. Perhaps this also develops into even physical symptoms at times, like insomnia and addictive eating at times, some eating disorders as well, to a larger extent. This sounds dramatic, right? But it is reality. This happens with a lot of us, be it in our professional life and personal life. Core beliefs can also set up in subtler, seemingly innocuous ways. And it is a sad reality. The core beliefs that we have developed in our childhood or maybe through certain experiences in life may play itself out in all sorts of patterns in adulthood. You may get trapped in the habits of never truly expressing yourself to others, never admitting when you need help, and feeling deep down that if other knew how scared you sometimes felt or feel, they'd think that you were silly or weak. So since you are unable to honestly express your fear, you instead express it in form of arguments or anger, causing all sorts of misunderstanding. So now what to do? What is the solution for this after all? So in terms of solution, the first thing is identify your core belief. Core beliefs will sound like it's wrong, it's weak, it's silly to feel this way, it's silly to express my fear. And those are our core beliefs that are not serving us well. Ask yourself whether this belief is really serving you in the present. Is this belief is making your relationship, both personal and professional, feel shallow and inauthentic? Are you feeling that way? That you don't need to or want it anymore. These feelings that you're feeling, you don't need anymore. If not, then challenge the belief, soften it, or invert it. You decide to challenge it by inverting the belief, that is, by expressing your true feelings, which takes integrity and strength of character. Or soften it, that is, people may sometimes be uncomfortable with others expressing fear or dark emotions. But that doesn't mean you can't safely share your true feelings with those closest to you. And if you still cannot navigate and express it to your near and dear ones, your dark emotions, the fears and those anxieties that you feel, then never hesitate to talk to a therapist at times. And lastly, take action. Decide in the moment to make small steps to admitting fear and doubt. Is it really so bad as you predict? Do people respond as you assumed they would? Ask yourself, take action on that. Here's another strategy that can help you uncover and rework on your automatic thoughts that are no longer serving you well. Remember, Of course, that not in all enduring fundamental beliefs that you have about yourself are harmful. However, if you find that the cost of this specific belief is too high, you can change it. Let's understand the downward arrow technique. Step 1 is to pick a situation that generates negative feelings for you. For example, maybe public speaking. Now, step 2 is identify the thoughts that this situation encourages you. For example, I'm weird and awkward and people can tell while I'm, speaking publicly, when I'm doing the public speaking, when I have mic on my hand and I'm addressing people, a larger crowd. Now, step 3 is ask, what does this negative thought actually mean to you? It means maybe I failed to live up to people's expectations of me. You could also ask, if this were true, why would that be so bad? Now continue asking this why multiple times. For example, if I don't live up to people's expectations of me, why would that be so bad? Answer maybe that I give to myself is because then they'll disapprove of me and judge me. And what does this mean to me? Ask again. Well, I would again answer myself, it means that I don't belong here. And what does that mean to me? Well, that I will be a bad person. I would lack the skill. And that's it. This is your core belief. In order to be a good person, I need to behave like what other people want me to behave or what perceive or expect that I should behave. Now, you may need to dig a lot on your core belief. Your core belief may be close to the surface, but keep going until you hit something that feels like a deep, fundamental rule on which your life is based. Core beliefs usually tend to fall into 3 categories: ideas about yourself, ideas about other people around you, and ideas about the world. While managing oneself and about your core beliefs, here are 2 more tips for you. First, tip number 1, soften absolutist, all or nothing language. If you discover words like hate, impossible, and failure, try to rephrase them to make them more nuanced and less black and white. I always mess up. When you say this, ask yourself, do you really? Always? It's probably more accurate to say that sometimes you don't achieve what you want, but that you also have some things to be proud of. And not being perfect doesn't mean you can't learn or try and do better next time. Tip number 2, face your fears. Negative self-talk often revolve around catastrophic thinking. For example, if I lose my job, I will never find a better job again. And I'll be a failure for the rest of my life. My career is ruined. Now you create suffering for yourself because you are assuming the worst possible outcome. And it's just an assumption, not the reality. But even if this did happen, is it really so bad? And is it really true that you couldn't cope with it? Imagine you really did lose your dream job. Now, is it true that that job or that company is the only path to happiness in life? Is it really the end of the world? If you face the absolute worst possible outcome, you will often find that you are exaggerating how bad it is and underestimating your own ability to handle it. The truth is, you will most likely find another job, a better job. Or this may also be a new beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. But even if you didn't, well, even this outcome is manageable. It may even be preferable. So trust yourself and have patience and trust the journey. And that's it for today's video. I hope you found this video insightful. Begin your journey of self-management today so that when it It's time to lead others, whether it's in your family or your workplace. You will be the best leader one can have. All the best, and stay tuned for many more interesting articles, video stories, and case studies related to management. I'll see you next week.